Then he says, I'm to bring recovery of sight to the blind. We have many blind people in our lives too, not just those that are physically blind, but those that are blinded by prejudice and hate. Some people in this room, people who cannot accept others, people who cannot look beyond the color of skin, people who cannot look beyond the ethnic origin of others, people who cannot look beyond what makes us one in Christ. And lastly, he says, I've come to let the oppressed go free. Those that are dominated internationally and nationally by other people. To free slaves. And we have all kinds of slaves in our society now. People who are slaves to materialism. People who are slaves to consumerism. People who are slaves to false gods. And lastly, to proclaim a year acceptable to the Lord. A year of jubilation. A year of hope. A year of joy. Now we're going to be reading Luke all the way up through till Lent. And so I encourage you to pick the gospel up and to make it your meditation and to walk with Jesus in his public ministry, to walk with Jesus and see what he has to say. Hear it again new for yourselves, who this mysterious man from the East is. Who is this guy who says he's anointed by God and that he's come to do these four things? And if we believe him, if we accept Christ in faith, then it becomes our task to do his task. It becomes our job to do his job. It becomes our life to model ourselves after his. And if we were to do that, think how different the world could be. If we are to do that, think how different all could be. If we could move out of our comfort zones, if we could actually change, if we could actually move, if we could actually make peace with someone that we hate, if we could actually forgive someone that we've been harboring a grudge against for so many years, if we could actually overcome our addictions through God's grace, if we could actually finally be free from materialism, which causes anxiety and pain. That's the message that Jesus has. A year of jubilation, a year of joy, a year of great rejoicing. That's what he said his task was. But it's up to us to accept it. It's up to us to embrace it. It's up to us to allow it to penetrate to the very depths of our heart. As you and I pray today, I challenge you to pick up the Gospel of Luke and the book of the Acts of the Apostles and read them as one, because they trace everything from the beginning of Jesus all the way through to the early days of the church. Get a good grounding in who Jesus was. Get a good grounding in who the church is and what the church is. Read it for yourself. It's not rocket science. Jesus came to make our lives better. And if we want that to be, then there are certain things that have to change. There can't be two things in one space, physics tells us. Or there can't be God and a false God in the same place. Jesus wants to give us freedom and hope and joy, and he wants us to give that to others. As you and I pray today, figure out which captives you'll free. As you and I go about our business today, figure out who you can release from captivity. Figure out how you can, in fact, become more attentive to the teachings of Jesus. Pick it up and read it again. And I ask you to go home and read the Gospel of Luke. meditatively, prayerfully, and remember, it's Jesus speaking to your heart.